Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Trice Alford. Trice is the head of marketing at Sellozo. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Trice Alford. Trice, welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Let's get going. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to get into marketing and then probably end up in working at Sellozo?
Yeah, I started off actually coming out of college selling advertising, and I thought of myself as more of a marketer than a salesperson. But I was essentially a salesperson, and over time, I realized in my career that I wanted to be the kind of person that owned the marketing strategy. And so for me, it was that pursuit that drove me into marketing. I got an MBA, and my undergraduate was in communication, and then I got an MBA with a focus in marketing, and then I moved into some marketing roles and became chief marketing officer of a company, and then just recently moved over to Sellozo as a startup. And for me, marketing is just a better fit for my own skill set and personality. I like to look at the big picture as well as the nitty gritty. I don't necessarily want to be responsible for all the revenue generation, but I love being a piece of it. And I love just the opportunity to work between marketing and sales and operations, whatever that looks like. In our case, it's software. So it's development, engineering. I just love being a part of that and sort of trying to figure out what are customers really looking for, what are our differentiators, just having those good conversations. That's what gets me excited and gets me going.
So you transitioned from a salesperson to a marketing person. So there, you may or may not know that many people think sales and marketing is the same thing. However,
Yes.
you and I both know they are not the same thing. They are almost a completely different thing. So what's the difference between a sales and a marketing for someone who is watching this now? They may confuse both things very similar.
Yeah, I've actually had this talk at the college level a lot because there's a lot of universities and schools are pushing sales programs into the marketing department or into the College of Business, and they're separate from marketing, and they don't necessarily work together as much as you'd think. And honestly, in corporations, it's very similar. They don't work together very much, and it's astonishing to me. To me, marketing starts at the high level of helping to understand the message, helping to understand competition, helping to understand the customer, what they're looking for, all those things, because you need that to. I mean, that's kind of the soft side of marketing, but you need that stuff to understand what's the tool set really need to be, what's the product need to be, and then second to that, what's the messaging. And because that messaging is what leads into the sales funnel. And then there's the hard funnel stuff of lead generation or promotion or whatever you're doing that physically drives customers into the funnel, hopefully, and then into sales. And so for me, the difference is two sides of the coin. One is sort of the top end of a funnel. That's kind of the old school way of thinking about it, obviously. But and then the other side is the customer relationship. Sales will always own the relationship as far as I'm concerned. Doesn't matter how many customers I talk to personally, that's a sales function. And that's what their purpose is, in my opinion, is to be the face of the company and meet with customers and understand what they want and hopefully give them what they need as well. So that's really, to me, what the difference between the two can be.
So in a one-liner, the marketing will drive people to the store, and salesperson will actually make the sale and actually own the relationship with them.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, that's blurring more and more now as the e-commerce channel changes that, or how marketing is doing so much stuff at the bottom of the funnel now, or even after the funnel, retargeting or things with existing customers, whatever. But that's still marketing. That's not, it's still driving people back into a relationship, a deeper relationship, but the relationship is still focused on this. A person is a salesperson. So
Yeah, wonderful.
yeah,
Thank you so much. I want to take that opportunity to clarify our thoughts, because it's important. Until it's clarification is not there, they can't really grow that much into that side.
yeah.
So, as a head of marketing or as a marketing specialist, at Sellozo, what are the top three missteps to avoid when you want to execute successfully the marketing strategy they have a plan for the company?
Yeah, I thought about this question as both as a marketer and sort of as an entrepreneur, right? Like, I think a lot of people, they get trapped in their own mentality.
Yeah.
And what I talked about this all the time on different shows or speaking engagements, or even with my wife, because we have a lot of things going on. But it's being mentally tough. There's so much opportunity in the world to convince yourself of something that isn't really true, or hold yourself back because of negative self-thought. That, for me, one of the biggest challenges is my own mental toughness. Being able to get up every morning and not let self-doubt stop me from doing what I know needs to be done. So that's the first thing for me. The second is time management. I think the hardest thing in the world for people that juggle a lot of things is not letting themselves spiral out of control because they've got too much on their plate, and just really trying to be strong about, like, okay, I'm going to take the next hour to do these things, and then I'm going to take a break to play with my phone or whatever. Like, I just feel like, for me personally, time management is it's a hard piece, and that doesn't make a difference what kind of role you're in the world. Honestly, I think it's worse for marketers in a lot of ways, because the marketing channel now has so many different things going on in it, and so managing all of that, the time to do all those things is difficult, especially at the leadership level. So, and I think the other part is not appreciating how much the organization as a whole puts into what you're doing. At the C-suite level, all the way down to, customer service, because, in a lot of ways, customer service talks to more customers than we ever would, or the CEO does potentially, and everyone in that chain has an impact. And I think you'll hear me say this again on the other side of this question, but is being empathetic to the fact that, other people are involved has been a challenge. I think is a big challenge for people. For me personally, those things, being mentally strong, being good with time, and being better about understanding everyone's role have been some of the hard learning opportunities for myself in my career. I started off in sales thinking, I know it all. I got it handled, and I just going to dive right in and talk to people and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And 10 years into that, it wasn't like I wasn't successful. I was doing a good job. It just wasn't doing it for me personally. And I think a lot of it was because I would run up against these challenges and hadn't learned yet the lessons from those things.
Yeah, definitely. So Trice, as a marketing, I am just paraphrasing. They say that 50% of the marketing will not produce anything, as it will be a disaster failure. And the other 50%, the challenge is how to differentiate which one 50%, So that means, as a marketer, there are so many 50%, there are so many failure stories, what happened. And I want you to share for us to kind of understand a little bit more about the failure side. What is single most professional failure in your marketing experience life?
Yeah.
What did you learn from that, and how did you recover from it?
Yeah. So I had, interestingly enough, at the moment where I felt like I was changing and shifting gears professionally, I had a major setback at the same time, and professionally as well. I was working for a company and they were going through a big restructuring, and the economy was shifting. This is, when is it? This is like, I don't even remember, probably like early 2000s. and it was in the publishing industry. So publishing was shrinking, just massively. And my position was eliminated. And a lot of people were out of work at that time, and it really forced me to refocus because I was in the middle of getting my MBA. So in my mind, I was in the middle of shifting gears already. And now here's the hard truth of you don't have a job. Like you got to be willing to do anything. And it really, really checked me on how humble I needed to be about the opportunities that I have, that I've had in my life and that I was going to have in the future. And also what I really, really wanted to do, what was really going to make me happy, what was really made me passionate, And so for me, that was a life altering experience. And coming out of that, I went to work for a digital marketing agency here in Kansas City, and I worked there for about 2.5 years, and I put in just relentless hours, just trying to outwork, and keep up, basically learning curve and whatnot. So that was a great experience for me because I kind of took that into my first brand job where I owned the complete marketing funnel, and I continued to work that same level. And so here now I've kind of found my passion. I'm in a place where I own the strategy. I'm responsible. I don't own it necessarily. I'm responsible for it. And also I've got this relentless work ethic, and it really put me in a position to grow professionally a lot and build a great team of people and learn a ton about marketing and about being a great leader, and I think that's something I still work out a lot today. And that's something I've carried with me. I hope that's just a piece of your question, I think, but that's kind of where I started from. So yeah.
Cool. Very good. Trice, let's just switch this side and let's get to some few of your success traits. So
yeah,
what are your top 3 success secrets as being a head of marketing?
I think the key for me is I'm practicing this more and more lately is you have to find some things to really focus in on. And I don't mean tactics. I mean things that you mentally are preparing for all the time. And what I always said was coming out of all that, right? It was, I want to be really empathetic to other people. I think in big organizations, what happens is there's so much to do. And the new way you measure each other is how busy you are. Pre-COVID, it was everybody's like, "Oh, I'm so busy. I got so much on my plate." It's this self-gratifying thing of I'm important because I'm busy, and it's not real. Like everybody's busy on filling their lives with something, and so I'm like, well, so now I want to be really humble about the fact that it's not just me. And be empathetic to other people, because I think big organizations, what they suffer from is the busier you get, the less empathetic you are about the people on the other side of the fence, the other departments, other people in your team, whatever. You just start to care less about what they need, and you're so focused on what you need, and it kills culture. It kills company culture. I mean, it's a hard thing. So I wanted to be I went to work for a much smaller company, so that helps a lot. But also I wanted to focus on really being empathetic to what other people are doing and not being defensive about people wanting to get in the mix and help out and do different things. I mean, that's a good thing, and so that's the first thing. So being empathetic to other people, being humble about my own opportunities was really important to me. I really wanted it to be about feeling good about what I'm doing and appreciating that there's so much opportunity out there, especially now in a COVID world where there's still so many people who are out of work and facing lots of health challenges and things like that. So I'm super humble about the opportunities that I've had in my life and will continue to have. So, and as far as a tangible thing that I do now, what I really look for is in all the marketing we do, anything that we do or that I do in my life is scalability. is the ability to take something and do it really well and apply it and in a broader scale and grow something that can grow and it can be repeatable, because at some point you either hire new people or you grow and scale as a company. And as you do that, you've got to have things that are working really well for you that you can continue to do, but maybe you hand off to somebody else new to take. And as it grows, as your company grows, those marketing tactics have to be scalable as well, because otherwise, you hit some bandwidth issues, and then you're going to struggle. So when I look for things now, it's how do we do things that are really scalable for our team or myself over time, regardless of how small we are now or how big we become.
Yeah, no, that's a great wisdom you shared. Thank you so much. How the Growth Hacking Secrets community people are watching this now or in the future can support you?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How Growth Hacking Secrets community people are watching this now can support you at your role and your company, Sellozo.com?
Yeah, Sellozo.com. We're a little different. We're an Amazon focused software application. Mm-hmm. So we help people that are Amazon sellers. We help them manage their advertising inside of the Amazon space. It's a really great tool because advertising in general for people is not an easy thing, especially if you're just walking off the street trying to learn how to sell on Amazon, which is very complicated anyway. Yeah. So tools like this are great because they help people save time, frankly, and operate, optimize, automate things inside their advertising, so that they don't have to manage it themselves. And which is I think is beautiful, because when you're running a business and you have a lot of stuff going on, this is the kind of help you need. You need scalable tools that can help you as your business grows, or you need people that have expertise that can help you as your business grows, right? And so that's where we hit the mix a little bit there. And as far as how people can support us or work with us is, honestly, we're here to support people. So if a lot of people out there that are looking for ways to maybe not work in corporate America anymore and be self-employed, or have some success with a side hustle, frankly, Amazon has become a new way to do that for people over the last few years significantly. So I think in a lot of ways, your audience probably has a lot of people that are thinking that same way. Yeah. There's a ton of resources out there. We have a YouTube channel where we have 2 guys on our team that do a live stream like this and podcast. They talk a lot about what they went through as Amazon sellers, where new sellers need to be focused on and things like that. They have guests and talk about topics that are important to sellers, as well as how advertising and the Amazon space work and how Sellozo as a tool can help. It's more focused about helping people. It's about education. So that podcast is called 2 Amazon Sellers and a Microphone. I'm just going to plug that shamelessly right here. But I think for people that are looking for ways to get into business for themselves, it's a really interesting way to do it. And there's a great community out there that'll support each other, in similar like this. So if you're thinking about it, go do some research. It's complicated, but there's a lot out there for you. And when you get to the point where your business is starting to move along, there's a lot of really great options that Sellozo has that can help new sellers who are starting their businesses, and help them with their advertising, as well as other things that you need to do in your Amazon space. So
yeah. So if you are an Amazon seller thinking to become an Amazon seller, you owe it to yourself to visit this site, Sellozo.com, Sellozo.com. Thank you so much. Trice, I like to ask this question to almost every guest to get a kind of feedback and testimonial for the show. What would you say about your today's guest experience and being a guest on the show?
I think it's a great opportunity. This is a unique show that focuses on growth and success and if you're out there in the market and you have something and you have an opinion about that, this is a great platform to do that. There's a lot of great content inside this channel. So, and always, these are great questions, that everybody thinks about every day, and it's a good opportunity to discuss those.
Yeah, thank you for your kind words. Really appreciate it. Trice, what would you say as the final word?
Final word. Wow. Well, this is cold weather on a Friday here in Kansas City. So my final word would be stay warm and be good to each other.
Yeah, be good to each other. That's my final word. Thank you so much, Trice Alford, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.